Good morning. Ooh, messy. Today is January 20th, 2025, and it's Martin Luther King Day. It's the day after three female hostages were finally released to their families after almost over 2 years. I don't know. Unfathomable. A year and 147. No, never mind. Math, numbers, not me. Anyway, one very, very long evil day is over for those people. But the nightmare of that horrible, horrible time period may claim their minds and their souls. And that is the tragedy. What was that all for? What was that all to do? Because if it was only to keep doing it over and over again in other ways, it's not what we're here for. It's so hard to look at the world today and see the distressing dichotomies and double standards. And it's enough. I think, I don't know. Like, people don't talk about these things, but like, somebody's got to start talking about it and not making fun of it, not being sarcastic and not being overly judgmental, but just bring it up out loud and make it not taboo anymore. Because once we remove all of that around it, then we could be freer to not be judging and judged all the time, which I think is what we're doing. And so having someone like this person in office is such a sharp contrast to Martin Luther King Day, which is today, which I think we should move, or gosh, in a dreadful scenario about what's going to come in this administration, will such things be honored because they don't have any economic value? And I mean, to have a country that is solely focused on economic value for the corporations and people who are manipulating us with the prices that they are charging. They are the they. It's not about us as human beings anymore. It's about gross net worth, gross worth. It's all disgusting. Really. Why is it? It's always about money or the power to hold over someone's freedom, whether it's through owning them or hiring them or kidnapping them and stealing them. Our time is our most precious resource. And to to give our time to something, it's time that we realize what we want to be investing in. And if that's plastic surgery or body decoration or outer adornment, that is beautiful. And what's next? Because once you've sort of reached a point, there's not much else to do outside. So when do we look inside and really sit with whatever that is inside of our heads? The stories that we've been really working our whole lives, that we've been attached to, that create us, that identify us, that are our container that we carry with us, our little suit of armor. And what does it take to have all of us feel safe enough to lift off the helmet and, be vulnerable? it's it's a huge distraction to have the constraints or impetus of time and deadlines and really, oh my God, I'm so congested. I smoked pot and like, and it makes me congested. So I probably should stop smoking it, but I really like having these thoughts and being able to articulate them like this. So be it. That's another dichotomy. It's like it's legal in Baltimore and one could do it anytime one wants, but the stigma of it is still hanging and everyone has a different experience on it. So some people may be more productive, and I'm, as a neurodivergent person, it helps me focus, honestly. It's allowed me to be more creative and open to things that I closed my mind off to, that has made my life a lot better. So, and I've also really been able to be so much stronger, I think, than I ever thought I could be. And perhaps now that I'm experiencing this congestion reaction, maybe it's time to back off, but like, why? You know? It's like a medicine for me. And I might look like my eyes are glassy, but people with allergies look like that. And I don't know. Wow, this is interesting. The sky is very, very beautiful and bright, but there's dark clouds on the horizon. Hey, what's up with that? Yeah. We had a little snowfall last night, and it's very pretty out there, and it's very quiet because we may have our last presidential inauguration today. You know, it's a potential, which has sort of been a threat, and yet here we are. Oh, is this really going to happen? Hard to believe. But there's some things that we can control, and there's some things we can't control, and I guess we just need to focus on what we can and be where we are and be generous with our listening, generous with not judging, generous with being the world that we want to be living in, and creating that no matter what happens around us. Because ultimately, if we can do that and cultivate that vibration of a world that is friendly, let's just try that. Let's begin with friendly, okay? Then maybe we can lessen the impact of some of whatever may happen because of things that we are theoretically not in control of, even though we have a voting process and should have been able to avoid something like this, like all over the place. So, you know, behind the clouds, there's light. Sometimes you can see the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. Look, there's another heart up there. See it? Oh, it's shrinking. Maybe that's why everybody is so in love with Glenda and Linda and Elphaba, because we know that Galinda has a really good heart and that she's beautiful outside. but her actions don't match what she looks like on the outside. And Elphaba, that homely, not very attractive personage, has the grace and dignity and character that Galinda was lacking inside. And maybe we are so busy looking at how we look that we're forgetting how we feel inside. So that's why it's so freeing to be Elphaba for a second and fly high beyond reality and choose that, because we've all been raised on Disney and fairy tales and whatever, like fantasies, and then we have to live this reality that is just so icky and not fun for many, many of us. But ultimately, we are the ones who create it. So how do we get that control back? To really, neighborhood by neighborhood, start caring and cleaning it up, cooperating with each other, because we all have an impact on one another. So let's just be beautiful inside. Be peaceful inside. Be all you can be inside, and let that radiate outward like that beautiful bubble that Galinda lands in. And let you be that magic fairy everywhere in your life and spread that magic wherever you go. At least that's my mission. I chose to accept it. I don't know. I believe in magic. I believe in the power of love, which is unseen but all encompassing and all providing and all creating that generosity. If we believe and we generate it with each other, that's the power the world could run on. What would that world look like, to run on the power of love, creating new love stories everywhere, and not having it end with a bullet or brutally, like we're being conditioned to expect? Because I do expect that. It's been served up to us for 20 years in entertainment. It's like that last minute fear that everything that you love will be taken away. So instead, you're going to ruin it so it doesn't. And that is really requires a tremendous amount of bravery to override. That's just, oh gosh. To go against the conditioned norm and to say things that aren't being said, and to see things that others forget to see. I think that's what I want to do, and how I want to see the world, if I can. And if I can wake up myself and others so that we can start to live in that world, that heaven on earth, because it is within us, because we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are our saviors, all of us, every one of us, in each culture and religion that we have been born into. The message is not from outside, it's from inside. And the ones who are saving us are us. So how do we want to do that? And how do we want to be that in the world? If we give ourselves that as permission to be that in the world, and everyone felt safe doing it, that would be the ultimate in ceasefires, the ultimate in calm, the ultimate in moving forward into a world that is equal and is caring and is the best way that we can be human as human beings. We're not human dollars. It doesn't make sense. I've been thinking about starting a church of dog and having it be for people to be somewhere outside and in nature with their animals and just meditating and maybe singing and having it be okay to sing outside with each other, because we used to do that when we were kids, and then somehow it got icky, or maybe it always felt icky, but through music, that's the way that we can get out of our minds and connect with something greater that gives us more peace or something, joy. And if that's not singing, then it's something else, but we all have that capacity, and that's the most fulfilling thing that we could be doing. And again, it would be totally hilarious if none of this recorded and I was just having these brilliant, beautiful thoughts all by myself. But maybe if I have them and I speak them out into the world, then maybe that will make it be, because one of the most important Hebrew prayers before you eat something that is not a particular category, you thank God for whom all things came into being with their word, with whose word all things came into being. So I take this commitment. I take this as my I do. I do to be all that I can be. I do to be committed to the best person that I can be, and do whatever I can do to be a catalyst for change in the world, to help people be happy, be spiritually elevated and grounded in their reality, to handle whatever is on their shoulders and let it go easily and learn with it, because it's always going to be there with them. But we can lighten the load with each other, and we can lose that weight over our heads, and we can bless it all. Be the parents that we needed, parenting each other now. Nice. Laughter. That's good. So let's take a deep breath. Ground yourselves. Feel it coming in through your nose and cooling down your throat and spreading through the branches in your lungs to disperse oxygen throughout your system that nourishes all the cells in your body, every organ, every fiber, every tissue. And then that exchange happens and gathers all the waste that we can eliminate, all the toxins in our body. We release that, letting go of toxicity, of being intoxicated by whatever limitations. We can conceive. Loka samasta Sukhino Bhava 2. May all beings feel free inside. Feel the connection between their head and their heart and their soul, their solar plexus, to feel grounded and free within. Be the light in the world today and every day. And let us say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love you. I love you.